and welcome from Honolulu, Hawaii. We're on several platforms. We're on TikTok, we're on Trovo in Europe, we're on Twitch, we are on YouTube, we are on 2 Facebook pages, we are also on Instagram. So good morning and aloha from Hawaii. So the body and the spirit, let's talk about that. Well, there is a separation between body and spirit, or let's call it energy and the body. Okay, so whatever you call what's in here, you want to call this a spirit, you want to call that a soul, you want to call it energy. Okay, that's what works for you. When you start to look at life in a more energetic sense as energy, you start to realize that there's more to the world, okay, than you thought. Okay, and how is this? Well, because you start understanding energy. Everything is energy. Okay, now in quantum physics, they tell us that nothing exists until it's observed, right? They talk about energy in that sense. But let's scale it back, and let's scale it back to simpler terms. Okay, so if you want to say that there's a spirit in here, if you want to say that we're spiritual beings having a physical experience, okay, then you can explain the fact how you can be in the world and not of the world. And what I mean is, good morning, Jay. In order to circumvent the system, all you have to do is go within. What system? Well, the system of the world and the way the world works. So Jesus Christ was the last person who told us, okay, that the kingdom was within. There were others before him, but he was the last one in the last 2000 period of Pisces. Okay, but he told us that the kingdom is within. What was he talking about? Well, you can transcend the system from within. What does that mean? Well, let's say, for example, you feel bound to a job. Let's say you feel bound to a calendar. Let's say you feel bound to a time clock. Now, you're grounded into the physical existence. What about in here? Well, that's where you find freedom. People look for freedom out there, but there is no out there, out there. There is no out there, out there. There is only in here. Out there is nature. You can find freedom in nature, but in order to be free out there, you need to be free in here first. In order to love someone out there, you have to love in here first. Okay, the law of correspondence, the universal law of correspondence tells us that in order for anything to exist out here, and whatever does exist out here, exists in here first. How does this work energetically? Well, let me ask you a question. Have you ever leveled up in life? You know, like better job, better pay, better this, better that, better neighborhood, better. Okay? At one point, I had a $400 Toyota. You know, and it was necessary because before that I had a Trans Am and a bunch of speeding tickets. So the $400 Toyota was my savior. It saved my driving record, prevented me from getting in any major accidents. It did a lot of good, okay? And I was very grateful for that $400 Toyota with a top speed of maybe 48 miles an hour at the time. What does this have to do with better? Well, life should be a progression of better in one's life. The natural inclination inside the human being is better. Okay, so, you know, someone once said, well, if you give a man the moon, tomorrow he wants Mars. And some people are trying to get to Mars now. So it's a natural inclination within the human being for more, for better. So when you're talking about a progression in life and more, you're talking about different frequencies. What does that have to do with anything? Well, have you ever noticed when your frequency increases? Or let's say it another way, when your life gets better, you don't even hang with the old group that you used to hang with? You don't even see the people you used to see before? You don't even run into them at the mall anymore. You don't see them anymore. And then you see somebody from, those days, and you go, wow, I haven't seen you in ages, and it feels good because you haven't seen them. Why? Because you're on a different frequency. Because when life changes, when life gets better, your frequency increases. Can it get worse? Yeah. You can go the other way. But in the other direction, there's only so many steps. There's, negative, there's homeless, there's prison, and then there's graveyard. Now, on the positive side of things, it's unlimited. So when you move to that new neighborhood, when you get that new job, when you're making more money, your frequency has increased. And you won't see that old gang anymore, the old group, the old friend group, the people that you used to associate with don't feel good to you anymore. It's not that you don't like them, it's that it doesn't fit. Why doesn't it fit? It doesn't fit because you're not on the same frequency anymore. You still love them. You still appreciate them. But you can't hang. That's a slang expression. You can't hang. Because it's uncomfortable now. Why is it uncomfortable? Because the things that you used to do, you don't do anymore. You don't have these sets of habits anymore. And now, on an energetic level, your frequency has increased. Energetic level? Yeah, energetic level. So there's high frequency vibrations and low frequency vibrations. We went over a little bit of this yesterday, okay? So on the high frequency end, love is at the top. Peace, gratitude, joy, passion, excitement, enthusiasm, hope, and satisfaction. On the low end, there's worry, irritation, disappointment, criticism, anger, hate, boredom, envy, despair, grief, guilt, shame. And at the very bottom, there's fear. All the negative frequencies are rooted in fear. Anything negative that you feel, anything negative that you think is rooted in fear. Anything that is negative subtracts from your life. Everything that is positive adds to your life. Okay. That's why on the battery, the positive, there's a plus sign on a battery. It's a positive charge. You are an electromagnet. You respond to frequency. So when you talk about the law of attraction, okay, and church people tell me all the time, well, that's demonic, that's not a thing, that's not good, it's bad. Oh, really? It's your subconscious and the superconscious working together. It has nothing to do with a church. It has nothing to do with a religion. The superconscious part of it is God, if you want to put a generic label on it. And whatever God you serve, or let's say it another way, whatever energy you serve is up to you. Whether you believe in God or you don't believe in God, either way, you're a believer. And you're a believer because in your subconscious, a belief is a thought you keep thinking. So what does this have to do with frequencies and when people gather? Well, you will notice that like attracts like. We've been taught opposites attract, right? Oh, you know so and so, like he's a real he's a real ugly guy. Like he's real, the way he acts is real strange, but his wife is so nice and so sweet. That's why they're together, because opposites attract. No, that's not true. There are commonalities there. Commonalities attract. We've been taught that opposites attract. We've been conditioned for many things. We've been conditioned to think that God is a white man with a beard in the sky, the Michelangelo thing, right? We've been taught these things. We've been conditioned in society to believe things. The media conditions you to believe things all the time. You can call it swaying opinion. You know, they sway it over here, they sway it over here, and then they say, we report, you decide. Because it is your decision. And how do you decide? You consider. How do you consider? You think. Some people know how to think. The majority of the people just go like a rudderless boat. Oh, this happened. Oh, really? And then this happens over here, and they go, oh, this happens over, oh, that happens. Oh, really? And they just go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. So I use the windshield wiper scenario, right? Positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative. Hopefully it's positive, 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 negative, positive, 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 you know, like that, right? So the majority would be positive. One of my clients one day, years ago, told me, Uncle, you're one of the most positive people I know. And I laughed at that, right? Because I know me. I'm the windshield wiper too, right? Because we have the devil on this side and we have the angel on this side. Or you can call them energies. Which energy are you going to pay attention to? It depends. How are you feeling? And what dictates how you feel? Well, if a belief is a thought you keep thinking, then you have to know that the only thing standing between you and what you are is a thought or a feeling. A thought or a feeling, that's it. So how are you feeling? What are you thinking? How you're feeling depends on how you're thinking. Can you change a thought? Sure. Is it easy? Sure. Good habits are easy. But we've been conditioned to believe that good habits are hard, right? Well, that's hard. It's hard to wake up at 7 o'clock every morning. It's hard to go to work on time. It's hard. No, it's not. It's a habit. In my 20s, I was habitually late to work, to appointments, to everything. Everything. And the real reason was I just didn't gauge time properly. And I have ADHD, so that was even worse because my time and space calculations are always off. So how did I fix that? Well, I had to fix it, right? I had to fix it because it was something that was just screwing up my whole life. So I started being early. I started waking up earlier than I had to wake up. To compensate that, I started going to sleep before I had to go to sleep. And pretty soon, guess what? It committed to my subconscious. How do you do that? Affirmations, meditation, vocalization, and visualization. Okay, use one of these. This is a brand new pen. Thank you, Jay. It's a brand new pen. It's from Japan. It has different colored ink, like real fancy. This thing is fancy. But you take one of these and you start writing. I am so happy and grateful now that I am always on time. Thank you. Then what do? Then you meditate on it. You see yourself on time. You see yourself arriving on time. Not only do you see yourself arriving on time, you see the benefits of arriving on time. I used to be at this place that they used to supply free pastries in the morning. But if you were late, everybody else got the pastries, the good ones. I used to eat sugar in the old days. A lot of sugar. A lot of sugar. Okay? And I paid the price for that. Okay? But all the good pastries were gone if I was late. So I knew, right? There was a bonus for being on time. So when I would think about it, when I would meditate on it, I would close my eyes and I would think, yeah, I'm going to get that good pastry. I'm going to get it. I'm going to be there on time for that. So I would wake up early and pretty soon, guess what? It was a subconscious activity. When you commit things to your subconscious, it's automatic. You don't have to teach yourself how to drive the car every morning. You just get in the car and go. And you know the way to work. Your subconscious knows the way to work. That's why on Saturday when you're going to the store, sometimes you accidentally drive to work and you have to correct it once you get 2 blocks away from the house and you go, oh my God, I'm driving to work, and you go to the store. Lucky nobody saw me do this. It would have been embarrassing. Okay. There is only the conscious, subconscious, and superconscious. The superconscious is what we call God. The subconscious is a culmination of all of your senses, all the data that you accumulate, all the sensory perception that you have. Intuitive thought comes from the subconscious through the superconscious. So depending on what's in the subconscious, what programs are in the subconscious, the superconscious will feed the subconscious in kind. Meaning that the intuitive thought will match what's in the subconscious program. The intuitive thought will support what the subconscious is working on in repetition. If you want to change it, you change the subconscious. When you do that, guess what happens? Now your intuitive thought matches the goal. The subconscious contains the goal. So let's say the goal is to arrive on work on time, arrive at work on time. I am so happy and grateful now that I'm arriving at work on time. Thank you. So how long does this take? 66 days. It takes 66 days minimum to install a new habit in your subconscious. 66 days. So I had to start getting in the habit of writing affirmations for everything I wanted to change. Just recently, I was telling Jay, good morning, Roy. We get as dear. What are you trying to write? Can you rewrite that, Roy, so I can understand it, please? Thank you. Welcome. But when you install things in your subconscious, right, for 66 days, okay, so I tried it in the beginning, and I said, you know what? I'm just gonna keep writing, and I'm gonna stop at 66 days, and I'm gonna look back and see if it worked. Okay, so this is the one that I'm currently working on, this pad, right? So these are affirmations now. It's not journaling. It's affirmations. Okay. This is the one I just finished with. Okay, these are affirmations. This is subconscious conditioning. This is mental discipline. Now, I don't call it mental discipline because every time I do, people go, oh my God, mental discipline, it's too hard, discipline, right? But when you train your subconscious, okay, playing music, doing math, it's all subconscious. Driving your car, you know, I play the guitar, right? And we play chords and scales. And once you do it enough, you commit it to your subconscious, then your body knows how to do it better than your conscious mind. Your subconscious drives your car because your body knows how to do it better than your conscious mind. You don't have to think about it. You can be driving your car and thinking about the beach on Saturday, and you're driving on Wednesday. Because if you didn't have a subconscious, what would happen? Well, you take your mind off the road and you think about Saturday on Wednesday and you're in an accident. So human beings are very complex beings. So when you write an affirmation for 66 days, it becomes a habit. It gets installed in your subconscious. What happens then? Well, your subconscious runs it as a program, as a new belief. A belief is a thought you keep thinking. And what happens after that? It works with the superconscious. It communicates with the superconscious or consciousness or God or higher intelligence or infinite intelligence, whatever you want to call that. I'm not here to tell you what to believe. Jesus Christ, Allah, whatever you want to call that. It's that energy. It's an energy. Whatever you call the positive energy. Or let's say, you know, in the old days, the ancients didn't have very many fancy terms. Good was God, evil was devil. So, you know, we have both. We can choose both. We can choose either one, back and forth. You know, we have good thoughts, bad thoughts, good thoughts, bad thoughts. That's that windshield wiper. If you choose more good thoughts than bad thoughts, guess what? Your life is good. Okay, you have that 50 percentile. On this side, you have positive. On this side, you have negative. How positive do you have to be to have a good life? Well, you know what? You take this 50%, you stretch it 1 more percent. Now you have 51%, and over here you have 49. Very simple math. Now, the majority of your life is positive, okay? Most people pull it across the line a little bit more, okay? But this line fluctuates. It doesn't stay the same, it fluctuates. We all have bad thoughts. Good people do bad things, bad people do good things. I know a lot of bad people that do good stuff once in a while. I know a lot of bad people, you know, I know a lot of good people do bad stuff once in a while. It's life, we're human beings. That's why we have salvation in religions. Salvation. Okay. Salvation means we get saved from the consequences of the subconscious programs that have a tendency to pull us in the negative direction. And what do we have to do? We have to let go. We have to surrender. Surrender means letting go. When you engage, okay, when you engage, you join. If you're engaging evil or negative, okay, and it starts with worry, right? When you're worrying, it's like praying for something bad to happen. You're praying for that to happen, right? You're worrying about it, you're bringing it into your reality. And what happens? Your subconscious learns to worry, and your subconscious goes, I'm worried about that. And pretty soon that, whatever you're worried about, becomes the focus. And when that becomes the focus, what happens? Whatever you focus on intensifies. It gets greater and greater and greater, and the worry gets more and more and more. And pretty soon, guess what? It happens. Your reticular activating system in your brain stem back here, it starts to filter out what you're not focused on. So if you're focused on something that you're worried about, it will show you more of that. Have you ever had one of those worry spells where you get worried about something and then you start to see evidence of it? You look over here, you see evidence of it. You go online, you see evidence of it. You drive down the neighborhood, you see evidence of it. And you go, wow, yeah, I knew it was like that. I knew it was like that. That's what I was worried about. I was worried about that happening. And look, it's happening. Look, it's over here too. It's over here. This is your reticular activating system confirming all of this. It's showing you these things. It's like when you're, like I use the red sports car for an example. You're focused on the red sports car. You're focused on the BMW red sports car. And pretty soon you see a bunch of red BMWs and you go, wow, I never knew there were so many red BMWs in town. Maybe I don't want one. Maybe there's too many of them. Right? You didn't know. But your reticular activating system, because you're this amazing thing called a human being, it starts showing you evidence. Oh, here's another one. There's another one. You wanted red sports car? Red BMW there. There's another one. There's another one. There's another one. It does the same thing for negative things. The good news. Here's the good news. Good news is that it shows you positive things. If you're looking for love, it will show you love. If you're giving love, it shows you love in return. If your subconscious has learned to love and to show people love, what we in Hawaii call aloha. Okay, love, aloha, same thing. If you learn to aloha, you get aloha back. Why? Because it's very hard to go against somebody who's showing you love, right? Love conquers all. It's an old song. Love conquers all. Love conquers hate. Love conquers worry. Love conquers irritation, disappointment, criticism, anger, boredom, envy, despair, grief, guilt, shame, and fear. Love conquers fear. So love is over here at the highest vibration. Fear is over here at the lowest. But you have to write it into your subconscious. And when I say write it, you can use your pen. Okay, you can speak it. But you have to install this program. How do you install it? Affirmations, meditation, vocalization, visualization. You have to visualize love. You have to vocalize love. You have to speak it. Here's a good habit to get into. I got in this habit a long, long time ago. Some of my guy friends was looking at me like, yeah, boy, he's getting kind of soft, But this is what I used to express love for everything. Oh, I love that. I love those trees. I love those cars. I love this. I love that. I love, So everything that I identified with was love. I love this. I love that. I love this about you. I love that about her. I love this about that. I love. Now, I'm associating the I Okay, the I, okay, you, the I, with love. I love that tree. I love those things. I love that jacket. I love that shirt. I love those shoes. It doesn't mean that you value possessions over people. No, I love that guy. Freddie, my friend, I love him. I love that guy, right? You know, we see somebody that we know that we like, we say, I love that guy. Get in the habit of expressing love. The more you express love, the more you feel love. And the more you express it, the more you get it. The more you give, you get. If you want to do something, right? If you want to achieve something, if you want to receive something, whatever it is, you give it first. That's the 12th universal law, the law of giving and receiving. The law of reciprocity says that when you give, you receive. When you express love, you get love back. When you express kindness, you get kindness back. When you give money, you get money back. When you give time, you get time back. Whatever it is, do it first. Be brave enough to do it first. Some people go, well, I don't know if I want to do that because last time I did that, nothing happened. Try it. The only thing standing between you and what you are is a thought or a feeling. What defines you? And I'm talking about you. I'm talking about the spirit in here. I'm not talking about your body. People don't see the separation between the body and the spirit. It's in every holy book. It's in the Bhagavad Gita. It's in the Quran. It's in the Bible. It's in the Vedas. It's in the Torah. The body and the spirit. Some people are so grounded in the physical matrix, right? Remember we were talking about that last week. Grounded in the physical matrix, okay? Bound to the physical matrix so much that they're like prisoners to the physical. What physical am I talking about? The calendar, the clock, the time clock, the job. When you let go, when you understand that the freedom comes from in here, when you understand that the energy in here is who you are and not this body, and that the body belongs in the world, and that you can be in the world but not of the world, and that anything you want within the system you can have. Because this in here is above the system. This, the spirit, transcends the system. It's above the system. So Mahatma Gandhi brought down an entire system by going in here, by being still in here. He affected an entire country by himself in here. That was an exhibition of a powerful spirit. Now, whatever you want to name that spirit, go ahead. Jesus Christ did the same thing. He did the same thing. He transcended the system. But what he did was he was teaching everybody else. He said, look, you guys don't have to be with this. You don't have to belong to this. You don't have to be a part of this. You can be in this and not of it. You can be in this and be free. So when I see people just becoming worn down by the system, becoming afraid from the system keeps you in fear because that's how the system rules. If the system can keep you afraid, if the system can keep you in fear, it pushes you off your life path like this. You're still here. You're still living. You're still doing. You're still working. You're still producing. You're still going. Okay, but your life path is here. This is figurative. Your life path is here. Fear pushes you like this. Okay, now you're over here. But now you're going in a different direction. It's no longer here. Your life path unfolds from within according to what you enjoy, according to your values, your core beliefs in your subconscious, and it unfolds like this. You project your life path out from here. The kingdom is within. Whenever I wanted to do something, I just took the steps. I didn't think about it. One thing I learned early on is the how is always God's job, right? My uncle taught it to me from 14. He said, don't worry about how you're going to do it, just do it. And I was like, what? But I got to figure out how. He said, you don't need to know how. The how is God's job. Let God do the how. That's what you call surrender. You surrender the how to whatever you call God. Jesus Christ, Allah, Yahweh, whatever your God is, whoever your God is. Whatever your God is. Some people call Source their God, the Creator their God, creation their God. I'm not here to tell you what to believe. I know what I believe. But it's not my place to preach it. But you are a co-creator with God. And you have that energy in you. Do you have the evil energy in you? Yeah, you got that too. Can you be a little bit of both? Everybody's a little bit of both. But when you join with good, or when you join with God, or when you join with the superconscious, what happens? Miracles. Miracles. This is a miracle right here. You are a miracle. The fact that you have a heartbeat, the fact that you can have multiple paradigms, the fact that you can take a pen and write a program like you program a computer. Okay, you are the most sensitive computer there is. Every human being is sensitive. I know, big macho dudes don't like to hear that, but they're sensitive. They're highly sensitive. You are highly intuitive. The reason why you're not tapped into your intuition is because of your free will, the ego. And the ego always says, I know better. I know better. So you get that feeling, right? You're driving, I always say this, you get that feeling, you're driving down the street, you get that feeling to turn right, and your ego, your free will says, no, don't pay attention to that. Don't pay attention to that. Okay, that's like the devil and the angel on the shoulder, and the angel said, okay, turn right over here, and the devil goes, don't pay attention to him. Go straight. And then you get stuck in the traffic jam, and what do you say? You say, I knew I should have turned over there, because you did know. You did know. Because whatever you call God, whatever you call the superconscious, gave you intuitive thought. It gave you divine guidance. It gave you the guidance that said, I think you should turn here. And you go, no, I'm gonna go down. And then you get stuck in the traffic jam. Or something else happens. That's just an example. But when you ignore intuition or that intuitive feeling, it becomes a habit. it becomes a habit to ignore it. Ego becomes a habit. Is ego important? Yeah, ego is important. What they call a healthy ego. What is a healthy ego? Well, hopefully minimal. But there's the body and the spirit, and they're separate entities. You're in here. Your body just carries you around. You're that energy in here. This is infinite. This never dies. Your energy never dies. Einstein proved that. You cannot extinguish energy. The body dies. The body's limited. Depending on how we treat it, depending on what happens, depending. Your energy is eternal. And it will be back in another form. We don't know what form. But right here, in this eternal now, in this now that exists for you, for me, right now, you can choose between that good or that evil, and a variation between the two. How much good you want, how much evil you want. It's up to you. Some people live in hell every day. Heaven and hell is a human construct, but they live in hell every day, tormented every day. Why? Because your subconscious learns to fear. Overthinking is rooted in fear. Pessimism is rooted in fear. Grief and guilt is rooted in fear. Your subconscious learns to feel guilty. Your subconscious learns. It becomes a program. It will give you reasons to feel guilty, to fear, to be afraid. You know, I met this young man. He had a very unfortunate circumstance, and his family wanted me to talk to him. He was in his early 20s. And he's a Marine, and he's being bullied by these superiors in the Marine Corps. And I talked to him. And I also saw that it was going to be nearly impossible to pull him out of this negativity. Because sometimes, and I know this because I went through it, sometimes you have to hit the wall first before you wake up. Sometimes. But here's the thing, like attracts like. Okay, so negativity attracts more negativity. And when someone does something to you, you know, like poking the bear, like hitting the dog with the stick, pretty soon the dog is expecting the stick and there's no stick. But the dog is still in that mood, right? Looking for the stick, like that, looking for the stick. There's no stick. That energy that's still within attracts more of what caused it. And it's subconscious. Because your subconscious learns to fear. Your subconscious learns to be angry. Your subconscious learns to resent. And the programs will keep playing over and over. So your subconscious and your reticular activating system will start working hand in hand, and the superconscious, to show you more things to resent, to show you more things to be upset about, to show you more things to feel guilty about, to make you feel more grief, to make you feel more despair, to make you feel more upset. When you feel upset for an extended period of time, just know it's not normal. Just know it's your subconscious learning this. Okay, you're a very advanced being. You're a human. Your subconscious learns to be angry. Your subconscious learns to be frustrated. And at that point, it's very difficult to let go. And I wanted to help this young man. But he wasn't ready. He wasn't ready because you could see it, you could feel the anger. And this is what happens when people are in victim mode. When they're in victim mode, they are attracting more bullying, okay? Or if you want to call it, more negativity. They're attracting more of it. Because in here, they're not happy until they see more evidence of it. Why? Because it's a subconscious activity. Your subconscious has learned to crave it. Because like attracts like. So if you get in the habit of being angry, you're going to need things to be angry about. So your reticular activating system filters out everything that doesn't make you angry and shows you more things to be angry about. And pretty soon you're not happy unless you're angry. That sounds like an oxymoron, right? Some people are not happy unless they're venting. Some people are not happy unless they're frustrated. It's not natural, it's subconscious. That's all it is. Everything is conscious, subconscious, superconscious. And they all are in here. And when you get to that point, you're living in hell. How do you get out of hell? You surrender. You surrender. Wave the white flag. Give up. Give it up. How do you give it up? Affirmations, meditation, vocalization, visualization. What it does for my clients, and my clients are business people, I'm a high performance coach. All that means is that the people that I coach have big responsibilities. That's all it means. But what happens? Well, they start to be removed from the situation because their awareness increases. Because you can't see it when you're in it. But as you get pulled out of it, through your energy, through your spirit, whatever you call this, as you get pulled out of it, now you can look back in it. And then you see it for what it is and you go, oh my God, it's like that. Yeah, it's like that. And what are the advantages of being pulled out of it? Well, now you can navigate this more efficiently because you see it for what it is. Is there a downside to that? Yeah, there is. What's the downside to that? The downside is when you start seeing things for what they really are, when the blinders fall away, when the veil begins to lift, and you begin to see things for what they are, you realize that you are just another cog in the wheel, in the process, in the machine, in the apparatus, in the system. Some people get paid a lot of money to be a replaceable cog in the machine. And what happens? Well, The more money you make, the more they pile on to you. So that money is the excuse. And then the pile gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. What happens when that person burns out? Okay, replace new cog, new component, new position, new person in the position. The machine keeps going. The system keeps going. But now there's a new component. Because they used the other component so much it's burnt out. Okay, replace. There you go. Everyone is replaceable in the machine. So why do I work with these people? So that they can achieve flow state. Then it's easy. Then you see things for what they are. But you also understand it has to be like that. And you can't even communicate it with your coworkers. Why? Or your subordinates, or the people the people under you or over you. Why can't you even talk about it? Because they won't understand it. Because you have transcended that situation. And now you have a good overview of it. You can navigate it more thoroughly. It doesn't affect you emotionally. It doesn't affect your thinking. It doesn't cloud your thinking. It doesn't burn you out. Why? Because the second component, the meditation component, which is 10 minutes a day, allows you to observe the thought without attachment. It allows you to observe the emotion without attachment. It allows you to switch to the observer, to where you are observing the event without becoming part of the event. That's a lot of power. But the power is in here. It's not out there. The power is all in here. It's not in the therapist's office. Nothing against therapy, and we're not making medical claims. Okay, some therapy is necessary. Some people prefer that. Some people are so grounded in the physical matrix, they need a physical remedy. But if you understand the separation between the spiritual and the physical, then you already understand that there's an answer in here. And all you have to do is ask. And when you ask, you shall receive. When you ask, you will be given. When you knock on the door will open. But you need to be clear in here and clear in here. What does that mean? Clear on what you want. Clear of judgment. Clear of attachment. You can be in it and not of it. I'm here to do my job, I'm here to do this and that, but now I do it in flow now. I do it in flow. I'm not trying to attach. I'm not attached to the position. I'm here to fill the position. I'm here to perform the functions of the position. So, when you understand the separation of spiritual and physical, the attachment problem is solved. The judgment problem is solved. And you become the observer. And then the blinders that you have, or the blinders that you acquire, are your own. And those blinders don't look like this. Those blinders look like this. And this is applied focus. And what are you applying focus to? You. You're applying focus to your life path, which begins to unfold like this because there's no fear, right? There's no fear. There's no pressure. There's no worry, there's no irritation, criticism, anger, boredom, despair, guilt, shame, anxiety. Why? Because you can observe it without engaging with it. You know, oh, anxiety's here. Okay, just wait for 90 seconds. Anxiety will go. Okay, but if you allow it to attach to you or you to attach to it, you will become it. You will become anxious. You will become fearful. You will become angry. You will become all of that. Same works for positive. You will become love. You will become peace. You will become gratitude, and you will become joy. And that does it for our international feed on TikTok, on Trovo in Europe. We want to say aloha from Hawaii. Also to Twitch, to YouTube, to our 2 Facebook channels and our Facebook pages, and also to Instagram. So we're going to let go of our international feed. Thank you, Jay, for moderating. Thank you. And thank you for the pen. Thank you for the pen. I'm going to use this pen for our demos now. Thank you so much. This is beautiful. This is from Japan. They make good everything in Japan. All right, so we'll see you tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. I'm Junior from Here For You.